Good morning, grade 2A and grade 2B. It's Miss Charlie for your English lesson. And today we are on lesson 11, and that is on page 374 in your Journeys Common Core book. And today's comprehension is about cows and hens that decided that they are going on strike. Now, strike means when you no longer want to work because your circumstances that you work in just doesn't make you happy anymore, okay? Now, have you ever heard of cows or hens going on strike, that there's no more milk or no more eggs? I mean, that just doesn't happen. But I'm going to read the story to you because I laughed so much last night when I was reading this. And even Simone this morning was laughing when she heard that cows could type. And this is what the story is all about, okay? Now, the author is Doreen Cronin. Now, Doreen Cronin's father used to tell her very funny stories when she was little. And years later, Doreen wrote her own funny story called Click Clack Moo. Click Clack Moo. And that also made her laugh, her own story. So I'm going to read it to you. It's got some beautiful pictures in that was illustrated by Betsy Levine. Betsy Levine is the illustrator. She is the one that made sure that the pictures of the comprehension goes with the story. Okay, so let's start reading. Page 375, Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type, by Doreen Cronin, and pictures by Betsy Levine. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. At first he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible! Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. Would like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows left a letter on the barn door that said, the barn is cold at night. We want some electric blankets. Now, electric blankets, as you know, is a blanket that you put in your bed for when it's winter and it gets very cold. And the electric blankets, you switch on at night when you get into it, it's nice and cozy and warm, and you can fall asleep immediately. Now, that is exactly what the cows wanted. Page 380. It is bad enough that the cows found an old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets. No way, said Father Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we closed. No milk today. Can you think of that? I mean, honestly, cows that can write letters and put it against the barn door? That's just impossible. Page 381. Now we're going to page 382. No milk today? Cried Father Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Father Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. Page 384. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a note on the barn door. No eggs, cried Father Brown. In the background he heard them. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. Page 385. Cows that can type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and or eggs? Father Brown was furious. Now, furious means very angry because they are interfering with his business that he runs, because without the milk and without the eggs, he cannot run his farm. Farmer Brown got out his old typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand eggs and milk. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Page 387. Duck was neutral party. He brought the ultimatum to the cows. Now, neutral party means that you don't choose sides. So he wasn't on the side of the cows or the hens, and he wasn't on the side of the farmer either. Page 388. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Father Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning, and he handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our old typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided that this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck with the typewriter. The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Now the ducks wanted a diving board. Now a diving board is this long sheet of wood that's over a swimming pool. And it's to have so much fun. You stand on the diving board and you jump, 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 and in the water you dive. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clicky, clack, quack. Can you believe it? The end. How funny is the story? Not only did the ducks go on strike, the cows went on strike, and then the chickens. They didn't want to lay eggs. The cows didn't want to give any milk. And now the ducks started with they wanted a diving board. So grade 2A and grade 2B, that is your comprehension for today or for this week. I will do your PowerPoint presentation for you where I'm going to add the story for you to read together with your comprehension words or your vocabulary words and one exercise to follow. I did receive a number of messages from your parents asking me to please limit the amount of work that I give you. Because you have got other subjects too, but we have to understand that English is also a very important lesson and that we have to work hard together to make sure that you pass English. So I will ensure that the grammar is not too difficult, and I'll do 3 or 4 exercises with you a day that is not going to be too difficult. And if you have any problems, mommies and daddies, please contact me on Zoom and we can schedule a time to chat this week, okay? Mwah, much love, grade 2.